On the night of November 26, 2024, a violent clash erupted between PTI protesters and law enforcement in Islamabad, Pakistan. The incident, which has since been dubbed the Islamabad Massacre, resulted in the deaths of several protesters and injuries to many more. A group of PTI protesters marching in Islamabad. The protests were sparked by the arrest of PTI chairman Imran Khan on corruption charges. Khan's supporters took to the streets in large numbers, demanding his release and the resignation of the government. The Islamabad massacre occurred when a large group of PTI protesters attempted to march on the Red Zone, a high-security area in the city center. Law enforcement officials used tear gas and water cannons to disperse the crowd, but the protesters refused to back down. PTI protesters clashing with law enforcement. The situation quickly escalated, and clashes broke out between the protesters and law enforcement. The violence continued for several hours, with both sides using stones and other objects as weapons. In the aftermath of the violence, it was reported that several protesters had been killed and many more injured. The exact number of casualties is still unknown, as the situation remains tense and chaotic. Protesters mourning the loss of their comrades. The Islamabad massacre has sparked widespread condemnation from both domestic and international sources. Human rights groups have called for an independent investigation into the incident, and many are demanding accountability for those responsible. The incident has also raised serious questions about the government's handling of the protests. Critics argue that the use of excessive force was unnecessary, and that the government should have taken steps to de-escalate the situation. PTI protesters holding a candlelight vigil. The Islamabad massacre is a tragedy that has shocked the nation. It is a stark reminder of the dangers of political violence and the importance of peaceful protest. The incident has also highlighted the deep divisions within Pakistani society. The protests have exposed the deep-seated anger and frustration of many Pakistanis who feel that their voices are not being heard. Protesters holding a banner that reads, "We will not be silenced." The Islamabad massacre is a watershed moment in Pakistan's history. It is a tragedy that must not be forgotten. The victims of this violence deserve justice, and their families deserve closure. The Islamabad massacre is a stark reminder of the dangers of political violence. It is a tragedy that must not be repeated. We must all work together to build a more peaceful and just society.